Do they have a magic bullet to fix the economy? Now, that's the most crucial question voters have for the Republican presidential candidates. And the candidates' answers could mean life or death for their campaigns. Jonathan Strong from Roll Call joins us. Nice to see you.
How are you doing?
Good, very well. All right, let's start with the programs. I'm going to take first the two flat tax ones, Governor Perry's and Speaker Gingrich. Speaker Gingrich is 15%, Governor Perry is 20%. Is there some other significant difference?
Well, there's a key difference in that the corporate rate under Newt Gingrich's plan would be lower. But I think it's also important to note that under both of these plans, you can opt out of them. You don't have to take that flat rate. That means that middle-class taxpayers who would be paying more taxes under that plan won't have to pay more taxes. That's a key difference from Kane's plan.
Except that the problem with that is it means less revenue for the Treasury, which means increases in our debt and deficit.
Right, and for Gingrich in particular, he's going to have a tough case to make that that's quote-unquote revenue neutral. He's already attracting scrutiny on that front. All
right, so that protects it also protects the wealthier citizens in this country. Is that right? Because they can pick between the two. All right, Governor Romney has this 59-point program that some have said is quite complex.
It's detailed and it's an elaborate plan, but it's really unimaginative. It's the status quo plan. For instance, on individual income tax rates, he says to keep them as is, and there are vague references to aspirations of tax reform, but no concrete details.
So what did we, the nation, get out of this one, besides 59 points?
Well, when Romney proposed that plan, President Obama had no plan on the economy, and so politically he came out looking like he's the man with the detailed plan on how to fix this economy. Obama has since come out with the American Jobs Act, which is kind of eliminates that contrast, and now Romney's plan looks kind of blah in comparison to Kane, Perry, Newt Gingrich, some of these plans.
All right, so if I could be to generalize, it probably isn't fair to the governor, but let me try. Basically, there's no particular change with the governors, nothing remarkable with the Governor Romney's plan.
Well, on taxes. Every candidate wants to repeal Obamacare. Every candidate wants to repeal burdensome regulations. There's some things that are in common with all these plans that would be big and bold, but in terms of differentiating himself among the GOP candidates, he's not done that.
All right, probably the one that's getting a lot of attention is 999, and I know that some people have been criticizing some of the candidates because they say that you give the federal government or Congress a sales tax and they're going to run wild on it, and raise it over time. Mr. Herman Cain, who's the 999 guy, has said it's a package deal. You don't just it's all three taxes that he's talking about. Has that been scored in terms of whether that raises or lowers revenue, or what's the expectation?
Well, Mr. Cain has scored it himself, but there are some other people who are familiar with the numbers who disagree with how he's scored it. I will say that I think it's naive to come to Washington and think that you'll be able to get those three numbers as a package, given that the legislation has to go through Congress. And it's not just going to be up to a President Kane on what happens.
Well, isn't that also true, though, of a flat tax? I mean, the same difficulty?
Right,
I mean, is there anything profoundly... I mean, if the question is whether or not you can actually get your plan through Congress, is that a flat tax has not been popular among the Democrats either. So actually, I should take that back. There is some support, but I mean, in general, a flat tax doesn't.
You're right to a point, except for here's the argument on the 999 plan. By instituting a federal sales tax, you're opening a new avenue for Congress to tax the people, and so that they'll have this new method of taxation that will give them, another chance at it.
Well, what's to prevent them from taking like the Gingrich 15% flat tax and changing that flat tax to 25 later?
Sure, they could do it.
Same idea.
Yeah.
So it also is an invitation.
It is, except for it's not a new form of taxation.
Okay, good. All right, Jonathan, thank you.